all I gotta say is G's up, horns down.
Boom.
It was a beautiful thing. It was a game that Georgia was in control of, and they made one mistake and let Texas get back into it. And as you said last night on the show, live show last night, Kirby said,
He said,
it ain't happening. It ain't happening. Georgia scores a touchdown. I went to go take a leak. I'm walking out of the bathroom, and people were like, "Oh my God, we onside kicked it."
Yeah.
It was a fun night in Athens, but the most impressive thing that I think out of this game, Gunnar had 5 touchdowns. That's awesome, but the offense has been cooking all year. This is the Georgia defense that we thought we had coming into the year. And they did it
without their best player.
That's what I was about to say. They did it last night without their best player. They did it with Christian Miller also being out some of the game. They did it without Kyron Jones. They did it with Zion Branch. They did it with DeMello Jones. They did it with Chris Cole. They did it with Gabe Harris. These are the young guys that Kirby's been talking about. The difference is now they have the experience. They've played enough. Georgia took those lumps. Elijah Griffin. They took their lumps. Elijah Griffin had like 9 tackles last night.
He did.
Like, it was crazy. They got to Arch. They made Arch uncomfortable, and Arch played a pretty darn good game, all things considered, last night.
Arch, he really impressed me last night. You know, for as much crap as he's gotten this year about being bad and a bust and everything,
yeah,
his receivers let him down.
They let him down early
last night.
They let him down early, and that got him rattled. After that, he was rattled. He was off.
He was rattled, but he was still making really good throws.
Yeah,
but
the one in the one right when they scored the touchdown, the third down throw, not the PI, but the other one, that was a dime between 2 guys. That was a nice throw. Yeah, I mean the play when they were back on their goal line and they ended up getting that 45-yard play. I know it was a little dump off, but that was a very nice play that they ran there too. I think the biggest surprising thing out of Arch Manning's performance was that they didn't use him that much in the running game, because Texas had no rushing game whatsoever. I think the stat is that in the 3 games over the last 2 years that Georgia's played Texas has ran for a grand total of 70 yards in 3 games. That's nuts, especially considering that Texas has a big offensive line, has, good players. And last year they were a very good running team. But I was surprised they didn't use Arch more. I was very proud, though, that 1 3rd and long, they tried to run the old quarterback draw that Florida gashed us with and that Mississippi State gashed us with. And Georgia stopped that too. But yeah, like I said, the defense was impressive. The first drive of the game opened up. Texas meandered down the field, 3rd downs. It looked like same old. Georgia got the stop that they needed, got a couple breaks. They kicked the field goal. But that next drive, after Georgia had taken the lead, you knew it was different. You knew it was on, because there were 2 plays back to back where Georgia just absolutely destroyed Texas and made them hurt. DeMello Jones destroyed a dude, picked him up, Alabama slam down to the ground. And then the next play, they ran it out to the side, and C.J. Allen absolutely destroyed another guy. And you were like, all right, you could feel it in the crowd, and people were looking around. You knew it was on, that Georgia was coming to hit that, and they did.
That tackle by DeMello Jones was amazing. I mean, it was beautiful.
Yeah. DeMello Jones had a freaking game last night, let me tell you. Like, he had a nice pass breakup on, he had a couple of good defenses. He had a couple of good tackles. He's turned into a player. Getting him in at that other corner, where we've struggled, getting him more playing time has been a revelation, I think, in that defensive backfield, because he's a player. And is he a sophomore, freshman, redshirt freshman, sophomore?
Well, between him and Ellis Robinson, I mean, Ellis Robinson's playing amazing.
He's finally playing good too. Defense, I mean, you just loved all the things. You loved the fact that, Zayden Walker had hardly played, And then he had the strip sack. He's making plays now, and so it seemed like everybody rallied around after CJ Allen went down. Chris Cole was a
Yeah.
man possessed. Raylan Wilson the last 2 weeks has found something, because earlier in the year I kept feeling like CJ Allen was covering for Raylan Wilson's deficiencies. Last 2 weeks, I don't have much bad to say about Raylan Wilson. He looks like a man
No.
possessed. Justin Williams stepped in, played well. I mean, everybody. You can't really say much bad about that defensive performance last night.
No, not at all. Not at all. It got a little dicey there for a little bit, right before half. There was some weird vibes going on. Georgia squandered an opportunity to put Texas away early, and then squandered it again coming out of halftime. But then after Texas scored that touchdown and it seemed like all the momentum was shifting, next thing you know, Georgia puts the clamp down and scores 21 points before anybody could turn their heads.
Yeah. Another impressive performance by the Georgia offense. Mike Bobo, Stacey Searles. Bobo needs to be at least a finalist for the Broyles Award. This has been his best season calling plays. And I'll tell you what, being in the stadium last night, and I don't know how it was on TV. I haven't watched the replay yet. It felt like how we were running play action was different than how we have all year this year. There was a little more holding the ball, a little more movement in the backfield. It just looked different. And definitely the touchdown play to Lawson Lucky. We have not ran that where Gunnar was definitely looking like he ran it in the last minute, picked it up and throw it. We haven't run that all year. But it just felt different.
That play was really cool because they set it up 2 plays earlier when they had Gunnar do the quarterback run sweep around the right side, and he got a pretty good gain on that one.
Yeah.
So they see him do it again, and except this time, boom, touchdown.
And that first drive, speaking of the first drive of the game, Gunnar was the only one who ran the football that first drive of the game. We didn't let the running backs touch the ball. And I kept saying, all right, we're going to hit something at some point, because we kept running the screen outs to Branch. That didn't really work. And let me say this about Texas's defense. That might be the best tackling team that I've seen play in Sanford Stadium. They didn't miss anything.
No, they didn't.
Such a good tackling team.
I think Bobo was using Branch more as a decoy to set up some other things, because the thing that was different about these screen passes is they didn't have any blockers out in front of them. Like, they were just throwing it straight to them and saying good luck. Whereas
that's why I kept thinking eventually we were going to hit a run up the middle, because eventually they were going to pull somebody out there on Branch and it was going to leave one defender. I mean, it didn't really happen. Frazier had one run of like 21 yards or something, but you just felt like it was coming in there. London Humphreys had a couple nice catches, a first down, and then the touchdown. Delp had a couple nice plays. Noah Thomas season. Guy's got 4 touchdowns.
I got to say this. So you're mentioning Bobo and Searles. Another guy you got to give some props to, James Coley.
Yeah. As long as James Coley ain't calling the play, he's a good coach to have on your team.
Exactly. I mean, what Georgia did in the portal solved a huge need, and Georgia's been reaping the benefits with Zachariah Branch all year, but now we're starting to see Noah Thomas emerge as a very reliable receiver. I mean, 2 touchdown passes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Another thing you saw last night that I have not seen in the game this year, and I don't know, I noticed it from my vantage point. We ran multiple times where we had the receivers on the field were Landon Rolden, CJ Wiley, and Zakovi White. Now those are 2 freshmen and a sophomore, like, that haven't played a lot. And those guys out together, those were only receivers. There was a couple plays. And we tried to hit the pass to Rolden last week against Mississippi State.
Yeah.
There's a play coming for him. He's going to hit one.
Yeah. We also tried to get the ball to Elias Williams again.
Yeah, it was covered.
Yeah. Man,
But
he's so
honestly,
tall.
Gunnar had a great game, minus one one bad pass though. Anthony Hill is an amazing linebacker, and he made a great play.
It was still a bad decision
It
by
was a bad
Gunnar.
decision.
That was a stretch. It was like a 3-drive stretch that Gunnar just, or a 2-drive stretch where he made like 3 poor decisions. One or 2 of them had to do with RPOs, where one time, the first one, if he would have kept the ball instead of handing it off, he could have ran for days. And then the opposite of that, like a few plays later, if he'd have just handed it off, it would have been run for days. And then you have the interception.
Yeah.
And the thing that really sucked about that interception was that Gunnar was trying to force it over the middle into coverage, which we've seen him do several times with success, in all fairness. But he had a receiver wide open one-on-one down the right side.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's hard to complain about Gunnar's day because he was responsible.
He only had 5 incompletions.
Right. I was about to say he was responsible for 5 touchdowns and he had 5 incompletions. So he's got to be in the Heisman conversation now. Just even statistically, he's approaching the same statistics that Stetson Bennett had almost. He's up to, what's he up to, like 27 total touchdowns responsible for. So I think Stetson had like 31 when he went to New York or something like that. So
yeah, he's at 27.
Yeah, because he's got 9 on the ground and 18 through the air, or vice versa.
Yeah, he's actually right there with Julian Sayin in terms of numbers.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. I mean, the big difference there is Sayin's completing 80% of his passes, while Gunnar's only completing a measly 70%.
But he completed 81% last night against one of the best defenses in the country. Not a good passing defense, though, I must say. But
still,
but I was
still they get after the quarterback, and they did.
I mean, they, like I said, Texas didn't miss any tackles. Georgia had 128 yards rushing, and every freaking yard was earned.
Yes.
I mean, Chauncey Bowens, we were joking in the stadium that Georgia liked to give it to Chauncey Bowens so that we would go to 2nd and 12, as I think that happened 3 times in the game.
Yeah, it wasn't working for him. But man, Nate Frazier had himself a day.
Yeah.
He ran so hard, had like 70 yards, and just tough runs.
Yeah. Yep. And then, like I said, Bowens did not have a great day. I haven't heard any update on him. It looked like he just got his bell rung. I think he's okay.
Yeah, he kind of like lowered his head when he was going into the pile, and I think he just got his bell rung there.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the biggest concern coming out of this game is CJ Allen. No update today, though. It's some type of knee. They said they were doing an MRI, though. He was walking around on a crutch, precautionary, but he said thought he was okay. But I don't know. It scares me. Like I said, the backups did play well, but you never want to lose a guy that has been so good and has gotten so much better as the years gone on. I mean, he really is the leader of that defense, and it would suck to lose him, but at least we got some guys that can fill it in.
You need all hands on deck once you get into the playoffs, because you get in a game with Ohio State, you need CJ Allen.
Yeah.
Because he's that leader, that defense holding everybody accountable. I mean, it's amazing to see how Georgia has grown up throughout this season. What is it, like 40-something% of the team is underclassmen?
Try 54%.
54%, yeah. So it's something crazy. I knew you would know. That's why I put it out there.
Yeah. I mean, lots of people have said it this morning. Georgia's not the football team you want to play right now.
No, and they're not the same team that started this season either.
No.
All around.
Yeah,
I mean,
ironically,
Gunnar Stockton. I mean, just look at Gunnar Stockton, the progress that he made from game 1 to now is incredible. On the defensive side, the secondary has stepped up and is playing really, really well. And that was a huge issue at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And now we're finally starting to see some pass rush.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Because
and
Georgia
don't forget
definitely.
about the offensive line, who's got 3 freshmen on it.
Right. Yeah, I mean the pass rush for all how maligned it's been, it was definitely there. They were definitely getting some pressure to Arch. And I know Texas offensive line has struggled this year, but I think that was part of the reason that some of Arch's passes were just a little bit off.
Mhm.
You
And
know,
that's
it
all it
wasn't
takes.
big, especially with his little side throwing motion, you know. Um, but you know, like I said, at the end of the day, I think there's a couple takeaways here. Georgia outcoached Texas in this game by a lot. Kirby Smart said,
It's
yeah, and it wasn't just. I mean, yes, the onside kick was a brilliant call. It was the fourth downs right after Texas had gotten back in the game. The balls to do it, but to also understand that
that play that they ran
was
for
awesome.
the was awesome. The a lineman lined up at fullback or something and then motioned, and then Gunnar came from the shotgun, got under center. It was like the weirdest
Right.
thing.
Like I said, they had some plays drawn up that they were holding
Yeah.
back. But yeah, but I mean, just overall the coaching stuff, even the the decisions to try to not let Niblet run it back, which Thorson had probably his worst game. He shanked a couple, and then finally Kirby chewed his tail out. I don't know if they even showed it on TV after it was a punt where they ended up downing it at like the 20. But like Thorson easily could have kicked it inside the 10, but he was like scared about the return and then didn't want to. Kirby chewed Thorson out like big time. And I doubt they showed it on TV, but
No, they didn't show it at all because I just assumed it was part of the game plan.
yeah, no, not that one. Kirby was
But
pissed.
but still, it was effective.
Yeah,
I mean,
everything was effective.
we didn't let Niblet, beat us on a touchdown in the punt game, which
Yeah,
is what has won Texas a couple games this year.
yeah. So, just a couple observations about the day. I mean, my God, it was the most gorgeous day. It was warm, not hot at all. Stadium filled in. I mean, we ended up going in pretty early. The stadium was filled up pretty good by about 45 minutes before game time. Like, yeah, it was filled up earlier than it was for Bama. The crowd was great. The crowd was loud. There were not a lot of Texas fans, to be honest with you. They, even like, that whole 600 level, they normally will sell that to a road team. They only had people in the one little corner. They didn't bring their whole band. They only brought a small portion of their band. There really were not nearly as many Texas fans as I thought. Um,
We
they seemed nice.
we should have made them put their band like way in the 600 level like they did us last year.
Yeah. Though there was when we were leaving, there was one Texas fan that was trying to fight like 30 Georgia people. And I was like, dude, you just got your tail kicked. Like, just shut your mouth and move on. Lots of
Yeah,
horns down in the crowd, like every single person. They had like all these they had like some signees. They had two golf signees that are like the US junior amateur champion and stuff. And both guys were throwing horns down. Like a guy on the tennis team was throwing horns down. There was a lot of horns down. I guess McConaughey was there, though they never put him up on the screen. That would have been funny. Um,
yeah, they didn't show them too much on television either,
yeah.
which is kind of good.
Yeah. They did not play that stupid sound on second and third down, thank God.
I was so happy about that. I was like, thank God I'm hearing the
they
bands.
actually toned down the music overall, really. It was a little bit more, they still played some piped, music, but
Yeah.
but overall it was a fantastic day. Fun game, fun crowd. And Georgia's looking good, man.
How cool was it that Cash Jones recovered the onside kick and got to put on the Savage pads?
Yeah. And Kirby said that they'd been practicing that, and he said that that in practice
For years.
well, and they said this year they've been practicing. He said Thorson and Cash Jones executed that just like they did about 80% of the time, like perfect bounce. So they've been saving that one. And and somebody said that Texas knew Georgia had that, and they were actually kind of prepared for it, but they just didn't.
Man, they kept showing the special teams coach for Texas, and
Angry.
yeah, and he kept doing this thing, and it just reminded me of that meme of the Indian guy at the NBA game who's like,
Yeah. Now, I have seen some chatter online that Texas fans were complaining about the refs, but Texas is the
okay,
135th out of 136 teams in penalties. This was like their 7th or 8th game with at least 9 penalties. They
okay.
they 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 held all the time.
All right. Well, that'll do it for this week. We'll be back next week, and look out for some drops throughout the week. Until then, I'm Burl.
I'm Street.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.